What's up, Jet Nation? GreenBean here, and I am driving all over the state of Florida looking for a place to hang, but it's warmer, and that gives me inspiration to talk about some Jets free agents when I come back. All right, Jet Nation, again, this is GreenBean. Before we get started, I want to ask you to like and subscribe to Jet Nation's YouTube page. If you're looking for a place to talk Jets football like no other, why don't you head over to the largest independent fan site in the entire NFL, jetnation.com. You can also find me on YouTube, GreenBean Jets fan on YouTube, 2 words. And you can also find me on Instagram, GreenBean the Jets fan, and Twitter, Being the Jets fan. Now that that's all out of the way, let us talk about our free agents. There's a lot of Deshaun Watson talk going on, and Robert Saleh this, and LaFleur that, and Aaron Glenn went to Detroit and boo to that. But we're going to get into some stuff that we got to talk about. We just got to get this stuff into our minds because it's real, and we're going to have to make these decisions. Now that we have a head coach, defensive-minded, inspirational guy, which free agents do you think we're going to keep and we're going to let go? We're going to just let some of them walk. You know we are. Just to get started, though, we have 25 free agents this year. 25. That's a lot. That's like half the roster almost, as you may or may not know. So there's some bigger names and there are some smaller names. I'll name a couple that I'm thinking we're just going to let walk right off the bat. Then we'll get into the top 5 priority free agents that we have to retain. Obviously, we're going to retain some more than this list, but I think these are the guys that you have to make a priority to keep on the New York Jets as we move forward. So the ones that I think we're going to let walk right away, first and foremost, Frank Gore. He's most likely going to retire anyway, but I think the fact that we had to endure this guy all year, look, he's been a great pro. Everybody's happy. He got 16,000 yards. He's in the top 3 of rushing. That's all great, man. But I would have rather have seen Ty Johnson, or any of the running backs, Josh Adams or LaMichael Pirine. It would have been a little bit more exciting for us as fans and as a team, really, if we were able to see the young guys. But instead, we got to watch Frank Gore trot out every single day and rush for 3.0 average or whatever it was. So Frank Gore is going to be gone, and he should be. Whether or not he retires, he should still be let go from the New York Jets. Another one, and people have been talking about this one, Breshad Perriman. I hear some stuff about him being a good number 4 wide receiver. If Perriman was our 4th wide receiver, then we have a good receiving core. While I don't disagree with that, the thing is you have to remember about 4th and 5th wide receivers is that you have to have them play special teams. Don't forget, special teams has to be filled. Wide receivers, running backs, defensive backs, that's where you get the large portion of your special teams contributions, okay? Breshad Perriman can't stay on the field as a starter. That's why he's not the start. That's why people aren't saying they want him to come back in a starting capacity, because he can't do it. He's never done it, and he didn't do it for us. We'd hoped that he was going to be able to, and he couldn't. Could you imagine that guy actually playing special teams as well? So he would never make it through the season. He made $6.5 million last year. In my opinion, you let Breshad Perriman go. Another one, and this might rub people the wrong way, Jordan Jenkins. I think it's time. This was his contract year, right? He had his contract year last year. He had his career high in sacks. As everyone knows watching Jordan Jenkins, they're pretty much covered sacks. He's not the guy to just kind of blow through the line and dominate and take over a play. It's just not who he is. He's a decent linebacker. He went out to get his money. Nobody wanted to pay him, so we gave him $3.5 million, I think the contract was. And he put up 2 or 3 sacks. I forget what it was, but unimpressed in a year when he really should have been making a statement on the New York Jets, trying to get Joe Douglas to see that he's worth giving a 3 to 4 year contract, anywhere from $7 to $10 million a year. In my opinion, unless he's going to come back for $3 million or something like that, I think it's time we let Jordan Jenkins go. And that'll bring me right to let me leave that for a second from now. Another one is, I think, Joe Flacco. probably needs to go as well. With LaFleur coming in, I'd like to see what he wants in a reserve quarterback. We need to see what he wants in a starting quarterback too. But as far as the backup, we do have James Morgan and Fales sitting there, or White. We have a couple younger guys, but I'd like to see if he wants to bring in a vet, maybe somebody from his lineage as opposed to the Joe Douglas Ravens connection. Joe Flacco. Might be time to hang it up for good old Joe. Another one is Peanut. Remember when we signed him, he was going to play next to C.J. Mosley. Remember that fantasy? We're reuniting the Ravens. First of all, as we know, C.J. Mosley didn't play for us. But what did this guy Peanut do? His name is Patrick Onwuasor, right? I don't even know if he played a single snap for us. I really don't. I don't think he played very many, if he did, because he was injured most of the year. Experiment, done, failed. Goodbye. That's how I see it. So that'll bring me to the most important part of the video. The 5 priority free agents. Number 1 on my list is Brian Poole. I think Brian Poole has earned it. Now, he did get injured at the end of the season and ended up on IR, but he's not an injury-prone guy. He had some injuries in Washington, at Atlanta, but he's been, for the most part, healthy for us. I think that Brian Poole is one of the better nickelbacks in the league, and I think we should just keep him. He's not going to, justify getting paid, $9-10 million, but I think he should be somewhere in the 6-7 type of range, and I think that would be a good move. Another one, and I'm surprised to say this, but I think Pat Elflein is a great guy to re-sign. Priority free agent, because even if he doesn't get the starting job, he's done a good job in that capacity. From the reports that I've heard, and I'm sure you've heard them too, Joe Douglas happens to like him a lot, was very impressed with what he did. You let him come in there and battle for a starting job, and he'll most likely be the reserve, and that's fine. He'd be about as good of a backup as you could want, really, and I think it's a good one. So the Jordan Jenkins thing will lead me to another side of the same position. I actually think Neville Hewitt is a priority free agent. I think he's someone that we should be re-signing. His motor is good, man. He's always playing hard. He's not the best in coverage. He's not the best pass rusher. He's not the best, but he's a damn good linebacker. He's solid all the way around. Again, I think we upgrade the position, but having Neville Hewitt on the bench, I think is about as good as you're going to find. He's been a Jet for a few years now. I think Joe Douglas likes him. Let's keep him a Jet, sign him for 3 more years, and let him just be there as insurance. And when someone goes down, which happens, as we know, we got a guy like Hewitt coming in. I think it's a good move. Let's see here. Ooh, Terrell Basham. Now, he's not going to be the pass rusher that we call our solution to the position or anything like that. But in the same vein as Neville Hewitt, I think this is a guy that has earned his spot on the team. He's a good player. He plays hard. And I think he would be good depth. But you want your depth guys to be good enough to push the guys in front of them. We've had, designated starters for the longest time. It's like, we have this guy, he's obviously going to be our starter, and nobody pushes him. And we're paying him so much, so we can't pay a reserve anything. So it's like the drop-off is significant. And even if the starter sucks, they still have their job. Last year, we saw a little bit of that changing with Greg Williams around, but who knows? I just think it's a good time to start raising the level of your reserves so they push the starters in front of them. And hey, if the starter's playing poorly, we'll throw this guy in and not miss a beat. I like Terrell Basham. I like Neville Hewitt in that role. Now, this guy is my favorite. He's the guy out of 2020. I fell in love with this guy. I know you know who I'm talking about. You're already thinking, this guy better be on the list. He wasn't on my radar until somewhere in the middle of the season. And this guy runs around like nobody else on the team. His motor is second to none, and he has worked his ass off to get right into the hearts of many Jets fans. I think Joe Douglas realizes that as well. And while he probably won't be a starter, if he keeps working like this is exactly the kind of guy that can be a surprise starter, and that's Harvey Lange. I think we re-sign Harvey Lange. What did he make? Harvey Lange made $615,000 last year. You bump that up a little bit, you give him a 2-year contract for 1.25 or something like that, you double it, and he's still a bargain, and the guy's running around showing everybody what it means to actually want to play football, to love to play football. That's Harvey Lange. I loved watching him. We all know the one play where he missed the sack twice. Not the best thing in the world, but he missed the sack twice, chased him downfield, and still made the tackle after he threw the ball. Incredible. So that's the kind of plays that he was making all year, running around, jumping over piles, all that kind of stuff. The guy's an animal, and I think he just needs some serious development, which we have not really had on the Jets in some time. I think that's what we're bringing in. The staff that we're bringing in looks to me to be prioritizing development. And I think that's going to be a really good move for guys like Harvey Lange. So there you have it. That's my priority free agent list. We have Brian Poole, Neville Hewitt, Pat Elflein, Terrell Basham, and Harvey Lange. Those are the guys that I'm re-signing right out of the gate, and then we can go from there. Let Frank Gore and Perryman and all those cats find greener pastures outside of the green and white. So what do you think? Do you agree with me? You think Harvey Lange's a loser? Do you think Terrell Basham should be, hit the pavement? Do you think you want to keep Jordan Jenkins? Do you love him too much? He's the longest tenured Jet probably at this point. Let me know in the comments. As you know by now, I reply to pretty much every single one of you guys. It takes me hours sometimes, but I love it and I appreciate you guys writing to me and letting me know what you think. Don't forget, again, like and subscribe. Head over to my YouTube, head over to my Instagram, and let me know what you're thinking there. All that said, it's exciting time to be a Jets fan. Go Jets.